Will we get $38 silver sooner or later? Is this just a small spike? Are we going to get beat back down? Or is $32 silver just one stop on the way to prices like $50? We're going to cover everything in this video. We got a lot to talk about. A report from the street. Curious what's going on at coin shops? I talked to Coin Shop Chris. I've got a very interesting update in regards to what he's seen. American Silver Eagles selling for $40 each, and crazy new news out of China. Something I had never heard about China before. And China is really driving the price of the precious metals right now. Our friends in India are helping out as well, but big news out of China that I think you'll find absolutely shocking. Let's start digging in right away. So are we in for a move, a rapid move up to $38 per ounce in silver? I think that if it's going to happen soon, it's going to happen real soon. And I mean within the next 2 weeks. What do you think? Leave a comment in the comment section. But it feels to me very different. And I've been following these markets closely for almost 20 years. Silver has been my friend, likely your friend as well. And it really is different right now. I think if we get a little burst of new interest in the silver market, we could shoot up to the high 30s per ounce. I would say that I then think it's likely that we'll get a pullback, maybe to 32, 33 again. But the whole point here, guys, is if we are in a bull market for the metals, we're going to go up. We're going to pull back down a little bit. We're going to go up again, pull back a little bit. That builds a strong continued base. Higher lows. Let me show you a visual of what I'm talking about. Okay, we're going to get to this one later. Hold on here. Oh, this is what an ex-president had to say about the Federal Reserve. Oh my gosh, there's so much for us to talk about today. But if we're in a bull market, this is a gold chart that I put together for you. But this is what it's going to look like, and it'll be the exact same chart with silver. Instead of on the left-hand side, it's saying $25 up to $100 per ounce is what it'll say for silver. So like, as you see, right, the price will go up, pull back, right, and go up again. Now, this was for gold a couple of weeks ago, but are we at one of these peaks? You probably can't see my cursor. Will we get up to a peak of, let's say, $38 per ounce and then pull back to $32 per ounce? I think it's very likely. I went out on a limb and said, I think we have a good shot at getting to $38 silver in the next 2 weeks. Hey, look, last Sunday, we sat down here together, basement dwellers, and thank you for being here. And I told you that I thought we could get to $30 by Friday. As you know, we far exceeded that. What are we, 31.45 per ounce right now? So if this momentum continues, $38 per ounce within 2 weeks, I think is very, very doable. Don't make any financial decisions based upon what I'm predicting, but look, things are different this time. Absolutely. And what did Andrew Maguire tell us? Do you know who Andrew Maguire is? Andrew Maguire, in my opinion, knows more about the inner workings of the silver market than anybody out there on the planet. He has a show called Live from the Vault, okay? He's a British guy. He knows what's going on at the LBMA. He knows what's going on at the big paper markets, the unicorn, the COMEX in the LBMA. And we're going to look at more charts about them a little bit later as well. But what did Andrew Maguire say 4 or 5 weeks ago? It like totally set off fireworks in my head, and I hope it does for you as well, because what he said a little over a month ago was that he thought the COMEX, the paper markets, were in danger of breaking. And he said, I'm not talking about years out in the future. I'm talking about months, right? Possibly weeks as well. And it's already been a month. So we're halfway there, basement dwellers. It could get very interesting. Maybe things like we can't even imagine because we've been beaten down for so long. But forget about that. Let's talk about the positive. Let's talk about the future. It could get crazy interesting. Now, look, I'm talking about, thank you, Neil, for the super chat, my friend. There's Neil from Neil Han's Dynasty. we got to be realistic, right? I'll just say this right now. I think there's about a 50% chance we get that $38 per ounce silver in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But we also have a chance that we could have $28 silver. I think we're right. We are on the precipice of major, major moves in the silver market. And what the heck? They're already selling silver for $38 per ounce in China. Did you hear that? Yeah, did you hear that? JD.com, their equivalent of Amazon. China's huge, guys, and I've got that's not the big China news. I got more massive, something that's going to knock your socks off. Buckle up, Buttercup, about China a little bit later. New news to me, I bet it's new to you as well, but we know that on JD.com, the Chinese Amazon, they're selling silver for $38 per ounce. And isn't that the price of silver? You know, Pat Holland from the Missouri Freedom Initiative would say it all the time, like the price of silver is what you're paying for it. Whether you're getting it from Pimbex, whether you're getting it from your local coin shop, whatever it is, the spot price plus the premium is the price. And in China, that would be $38 per ounce. Our friends in India are telling us it's becoming a little difficult. What does all this mean? Right? What that means, guys, is that the supply of silver is drying up. The real price of silver is much, much higher, right? What about if you want to buy an American Silver Eagle? We're going to get into that later. American Silver Eagles are selling for $40 here in the US. Yes, I know. They're typically the product that has the highest premium, but nonetheless, okay? Let's look at our friend Mike Quick and see what he had to say about the silver chart. Mikey Quick. There it is. Let's get back there. Okay. And this, my friends, hey, Ron McAdams, premiums are rising fast at my dealer. Thank you for the super chat. I got to put that down so we can see the whole chart. Here we go, guys. And thank you, Susie. All right, guys, hold on here. Okay. This is a chart of silver. Let's look at this for just 1 second. Do you see what I see? That's the last time I'll sing today. But guys, we are in an upward moving channel to the right-hand side. Okay. The other thing going on in the silver chart right now is an inverse head and shoulders, an upside down head and shoulders pattern, which is also very, very bullish for the silver price. And all of it, are you ready for the kicker? If we're going to be chartist here for just 30 more seconds, the big kicker is we've got this upward channel, okay? He says $29.88 floor, $38 target. We like what you think. And it could even go higher. Remember, we had a copper squeeze last week. Take a deep breath. Copper, we're going to talk about how important copper is to silver and to gold here in a second. We had a squeeze in the copper market. That's not some YouTuber in his basement in St. Louis saying that. That was Reuters and Bloomberg recognizing a legitimate squeeze in the copper market. It could go much, much higher from here. Thank you, Mikey, for that. And we're back. Hey, all right, guys. Okay. All right. Well, here we go. This, I think, is one of the most exciting things nobody else is talking about when it comes to the silver price. But as you're going to see right now, it absolutely has to do with, here it is, with the gold price as well. This is a fancy graph that we had put together. Paid a lot of money to have this done. But what I want you to look at is silver in the middle. Okay. Now look at the orange. Ignore the blue at the top. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. Look at the orange writing. Okay. You've got gold. Okay. Which is a pure monetary metal. Silver is schizophrenic, is bipolar, whatever the right term would be, has two personalities. Silver is very related to gold. We know that as a monetary metal. It's like a half brother to gold. But look to the left at copper. Copper's almost purely an industrial metal, but silver's also half an industrial metal. So silver's like got this split personality. half related to copper as an industrial metal. Again, look at the orange, no looking up at the blue yet, but also half related to gold as a monetary metal. Take a deep breath. We got two. You're going to need to take 2 deep breaths. Take a deep breath. Now you can look up at the blue writing. Have you noticed that copper has had an all-time high and a short squeeze as of lately? Right? That industrial metal that silver is half related to, all-time high, short squeeze, all-time high. What about gold? Look at that blue writing. Oh, yes, blue highlighting. I'm sorry, all-time high. Silver is sitting there in the middle at pretty much half still of its all-time high. What does this tell us, guys? We talked about this yesterday, but wait, there is more. There is more, right? Because as silver's half siblings both reach all-time highs, okay? Silver, actually, I would argue, you may not agree with me on this one, but I would argue silver has a more compelling set of fundamental factors supporting it than either gold or copper. We love gold. We know what's going on with gold. We love copper. We know what's going on with copper. Gold, central banks buying like crazy. That whole story, right? The pure monetary metal of the kings of the world forever. Copper, the critical metal for the electrification of the planet, industrial uses, blah, blah. We love them. Silver sits there in the middle. Look, we could go on this live stream for the next 3 hours talking about all the compelling fundamental factors behind silver. Silver is sitting there with its 2 half siblings reaching all-time highs, shortages, right? And silver's at half the price. And the crazy part is silver has better fundamental values. Let that sink in for a little bit. Wow. I mean, really, it is absolutely an unbelievable setup right now. Why do we hear the smartest people? Have you thought about this? I've heard Gareth Soloway. I've heard, what's that guy? Gregory Manarino. The list, I could go through the list of name brands, smart, legitimate, genuine people. What does it mean to us when all these smart, legitimate name brand people consistently say that silver is the most undervalued asset on the face of the planet? It means exactly what I just showed you, right? Silver could have the same squeeze that copper had. Silver could have new all-time highs like gold, and it's going to be crazy. Nothing against gold or copper. And by the way, platinum's doing great now as well for our friend Neil, okay? Let me ask you a question. Think about this. Tonight's going to be an exciting night. Are you ready? When the market opens, it's going to be crazy. I think what happens tonight, right, when the markets open, Shanghai will be trading. The New York, whatever, NYMEX, whatever, the electronic exchanges will be running in the United States about 5 Central. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But if you thought about this, don't you think there's a lot of new people? Look, we've got 700 people on this live stream already on a Sunday morning. Thank you for being here, by the way, because you are the most important part of this basement. But as we grow, don't you think we've got a lot of new people researching silver, researching gold, researching the precious metal mining stocks this weekend? That means new buyers, more people coming in. It's the whole metals. It's platinum. All the metals are rallying, right? People are starting to wake up, okay? People are realizing that this sector is moving. And again, silver is poised like better than all of them to have a slingshot move higher. So hopefully you've got your silver. Okay, now we're going to talk about soon here. Well, let's go right in. You curious what's going on at the coin shop level? I had a long conversation with our friend Coin Shop Chris last night. He actually said they were going to be working today on Sunday. And because demand has been, let's just say, very robust at the coin shop. But this is what he had to say. He observed people are in semi-panic mode right now, okay? He says, don't panic, cost average. Like we said all along, don't panic, make prudent decisions. Don't like run out and put all your money into silver tomorrow or today or anything like that. Just my opinion. I'm not giving financial advice, but you do whatever you want, but you want to be prudent. Our friend Mike at Pimbex, one of the owners, said that same thing. Okay. But he said, people are afraid. I said, why are all these people showing up? He said, because they're afraid that they're missing the boat. All these people, we talked about this yesterday, and I was kind of guilty of this myself, but not really, because I've been buying silver for 20 years, okay, storing it off-site, safe, okay, but nonetheless, a lot of people were saying, well, if silver gets back to 20 and gold gets back to 1900, then I'll buy. Those people are panicking right now, semi-panicking, okay? Coin Shop Chris also says, very important. This is a key, okay, for you as a stacker. Don't compare the size of your stack to anybody else's. Just worry about what you have, right? And if you're trying to build your stack, I would recommend do it on a weekly, monthly basis, put the same amount in. But don't watch some guy on YouTube who's showing you, I got 15,000 ounces of silver. Look at all my silver. Blah, blah. I won't show you my face, but look at all this. Don't worry. Okay. Worry about what you have, and you're going to be A-okay. Coin Shop Chris also said people are in tune to watch this Chinese open today in the markets. $40 for Eagles. He was the one that told me that. And I was like, wow. So I thought, I wonder what. That's the going price right now. I thought, I wonder what Pimbex is selling Eagles for. So hold on here. I want to show you something. Okay. I went out to Pimbex and I noticed if you just want to buy one random year American Silver Eagle, you're looking at about $38, 1 to 19 for the cash price, $38 per ounce. I then went out to some of the other major bullion dealers, and one of them that everybody would know of starts with the letter A, was selling the same thing, 1 to 19 for $41.22. Okay. So look, thank you to Pimbex for sponsoring the channel, but thank you to Pimbex for providing the same metal availability to all the stackers out there for consistently the best prices. Same metal, same quality. Pimbex, a company that I've trusted, a company I've worked with, a company I've bought from. When you go to buy bullion online, just do yourself a favor, throw them into the mix. I'm not telling you what to do, okay? But you may benefit from comparing what you can get from Pimbex to what you can get from some of the other big name brand bullion dealers. And look, I did a little math on this. It was like if somebody were to buy a tube of American Silver Eagles, 20 Eagles, and save almost $3, that's like $60. That's almost like you get the tube, and then you can almost darn near buy yourself 2 extra Eagles at the same time. So thank you, Pimbex, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. Thank you, all 800 of us, for being here this morning. We're going to talk about ending the Fed in real steps, okay, that are potentially being taken right now. Regarding the Federal Reserve, we'll get to that later. In the China news, China is everything. If you're into silver, if you're into gold, if you're into platinum, if you're into any of that, China is the biggest thing you need to keep your eye on right now, okay? Because they are taking over. So we're going to get to that. Here, have you ever thought about this? The U.S. government, okay, you probably live in the United States, probably live in a Western country, probably you're a silver and gold stacker, precious metal mining stock investor. The U.S. government does not want you to own silver and gold. We know they hate, the fiat systems hate silver and gold. They want to dissuade you. They want to scare you. They want to make you think that you're dirty. Right? You're 1 in 100 type people. We've had that. We're only 1 in 100, 1 in 200 people, us stackers. And I was thinking about this last night, and it made me really kind of mad, right? Okay. What do they want you to do? They don't want you in gold and silver. What does the government want you in? They want you in debt, right? The whole system is based on debt. The whole it's completely infuriating. It is. They don't want you in silver and gold, but wait till you hear about this China situation. They want you in debt. And remember, throughout history, including right now, including the history that just happened 30 seconds ago and is being written right now, gold is the money of the royalty, of the kings, of the ruling class. Silver is the money of gentlemen, of nobility, okay? Real money, gold and silver. Debt is the money of slaves. And think about that. Your government, if you live in a Western country, wants you to be in debt, period, right? They want you to be financially illiterate. That's a fact. I heard somebody say this the other day. People coming out of high school are financially illiterate. People coming out of college, oh, you got a college degree. I grew up very middle class. Florissant, Missouri, middle class. My parents were awesome. They made sacrifices. I'll start crying if I talk about them anymore. I really will, because they're just wonderful, wonderful people. Okay. Luckily, my grandpa, my mom's dad, he read the Wall Street Journal every day. He knew about money. He taught me a little bit, got me started about money growing up. But most people, you're only going to learn it from your parents or grandparents. Okay. And I learned from my parents as well. They're very financially responsible, savvy, I guess you could say. But most people don't get that. And people coming out of high school, financially illiterate, college, financially illiterate. What are you taught? What are you taught in high school? Go into debt, go to college so you can be a slave for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. It really, really irks me. Okay. And I may make it part of the Ron's Basement mission to improve financial literacy, just so people understand. But nonetheless, let's say thank you. Wow. You guys are being super generous this morning. What the heck? Neil, thank you. Ron McAdams, let's see his smiling face as usual. Thank you, Ron. Premiums are rising. Yes, premiums are going up. When premiums go up, okay, when the amount of money that you need to spend above and beyond the spot price of silver go up, that means only one thing. Do you know what it is? That means demand is going up. So that's a good thing. Thank you for sharing that. Frank says, what's silver's all-time high in inflated dollars? Well, Frank, finally a good question that I know the answer to. I've heard on the low side, like $145. And on the high side, I've heard $185 per ounce. That's the 1980. I think silver actually hit an intraday high of around 51, 52, 51.50 or 52.50. Okay. And if you account for all the inflation that's occurred over the last 44 years, you get to a price north of $150 per ounce. Thank you for that question. America's First. Thank you for the super chat. And you got 2,000 ounces of silver. All right. That is awesome. Let's if you're into silver and gold, this is hard for us to really comprehend, but it's so critical, right? It's real similar to that idea that we shouldn't we would benefit, I'm not going to use the S word, we would benefit by not valuing our precious metals based on fiat dollars, fiat euros, fiat anything, that we should really will benefit by valuing our ounces based on ounces and comparing what does an ounce of silver get me? How many gallons of gas? How many loaves of bread? How many times can I get my grass cut? All right. What goods or services value-wise does each ounce of the metal command? Okay. That's critical. That's not, I'm sorry I went down that path, but it's similar that we have a hard time, and I do too. We all struggle with that, but it's similar to this idea that, guess what? I got news for you. I got a secret for you. China is taking over the precious metals sector. And when I heard this statistic last night, I think it was Alistair McLeod or one of these guys said this. This will send that tingly feeling down your spine. So hold on to your socks, hold on to your spine, because this, my friends, is shocking. Absolutely. Can I say that a little more exaggerated? This is absolutely shocking. Okay. The Chinese love silver, gold. We know that. We won't go down that path. But did you know? I've got to read this. The rate of savings in China, the savings rate is 47%. 47. That means Chinese people save 40% of their money. Unbelievable. Maybe that's why. Maybe think about this. If they're saving darn near half of their money, does that explain why they're snatching up all the world's gold and silver? Is that the reason behind what's going on? Okay. Because remember, I made a little rhyme for you. In China, they've got a real estate bubble, they've got stock market trouble, and they don't trust their banks double. Uh-oh, where'd I go? I lost my spot. Sound familiar? Gold, gold, gold is what they're after in huge, huge amounts. What other alternative do they have? And think about that within the context of the United States of America, right here where I am. I'm right in the middle. St. Louis, Missouri, home of the giant silver arch, right? Huh? Yeah. Think about that in terms of this. Do we have a real estate bubble? Do we have a stock market bubble? Do we trust our banks? All of those three things, okay? Real estate bubble in the United States, stock market bubble in the United States, bank trouble in the United States. All of those are sitting there prime. No, the stock market's at all-time highs. Woo-hoo. I was the guy this morning. He's like, hey, the Dow's at 40,000. I'm thinking, you don't even know what you own in the Dow. Bunch of crap. Excuse my French. That's the C word. I get to use it once per live stream, right? Real estate. Oh my God. I like barf. Run into my neighbors like, oh, you know, the house is up the street sold for $545,000. And I'm like, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. And we're starting to see cracks in that because I'm getting those emails now every day saying, house in your neighborhood price, asking prices dropped, but I digress. Are we in that same situation? Huh? Could we have a real estate bubble burst? Could we have a stock market trouble? I don't know. And what about the banks? The banks are the biggest clown show in the world right now here in the United States. So in China, right, a country, right, the biggest economy in the world, according to China and Russia, but that's up for debate. We won't go there. Their people are crazy about gold. This is one we got to revisit. Hold on. There it is. Ta-da! This is China, and this is gold. You can't read that. That's not 300,000. That says on the upper left of that says 800,000 Chinese rush to buy gold at malls at New Year, blah, blah, blah. This was like 3-4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. There's all kinds of pictures. Do I have another one? Nope. Oh, that's for later. Okay, all kinds of pictures. I'm going to tease you again. Oh, this is big. This is probably the biggest breaking news of the day. Anyway, 800,000 people line up to buy gold in China. Hello? Knock, 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 knock. Are you in there? Those people right there, they all save 47% of their money. Can you believe it? I'm going to have a drink of coffee. While I'm having the drink of coffee, I want you to see if you can see me in there. Because I was talking to all those people and I'm like, I got to like 750,000 of them. And I'm like, do you guys really save 47% of your money? All right, hold on. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Absolutely. Okay. This is great. Remember how we talked about you and me? Americans are financially illiterate. You're not. I'm not. Right? That's why you're in the basement. We're learners. We like to know. If you give yourself a little pat on the butt, okay, right now. All right, a little pat, because if you're here, you're not financially illiterate. If you're here, you know the dangers of what? Debt. Yes, you better. You better. I don't give financial advice, but I'll tell you, stay away from debt unless you got like a 3% mortgage on a house for the next 30 years. Congratulations. Okay. But credit card, any debt, car debt, any debt. Okay. You, the other thing that makes you financially literate is you are being your own central bank. So congratulations there as well. You're doing a good job. Give yourself a pat on the butt. Think about this. Think about this. Okay? Think about this. This, I got to pull this up. I saw that it's time for show and tell. That's an American. Oh, hold on. They've got to get it just right. Look at that. Isn't that the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life? That's an American silver eagle. If you don't have one of these, okay, it's kind of ironic. Look at that. All right, sorry. I like I'm selling them to you or something, but I'm not. If you had this or you have this is guaranteed to go down, 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 down. This is paper. Think about this. Think about 10 years, 50 years out in the future. Woo, bye-bye. This will always be valuable. Do you think this is going down in value? Again, we could have another live stream for 10 hours talking about silver. Chinese people, last thing about the Chinese, they are taking control of the metals markets. Look at the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange, the Oriental Ghost, right? I won't even pull them up. Silver's like $34, $35 an ounce. But the difference is Chinese people are financially literate. Okay, they understand money. They understand value. Americans are just like, I think if you ask the average American money, like, well, you just borrow as much as you can. Go to Disney World, spend 15 grand. We'll pay out, whatever. It's crazy. It's crazy. I digress. Okay. One final thing. The Chinese central bank is also buying record amounts of gold. They bought gold for the last 17 months. I digress. The world is waking up and why? And the Chinese are selling dollars. The Chinese are selling U.S. treasuries. Why? Because they're waking up to the fiat, unicorn fart dust, paper money, clown show that's going on in the world right now. Okay? The world is waking up. Not the United States. They don't want it to end. No, please don't. We don't want this to end. And Americans have no clue. We talked about that already. Who else? What did the top banker in the world say that should have the hair on the back of your back? Is that right? Well, the hair on the back of your neck. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. The hair on the back of your neck standing up. Okay, hold on here. There we go. We've seen enough of that. Please support our sponsors. Thank you very much. Enough of that. This is not possible without the sponsors. First Mining Gold, firstmininggold.com, Fortuna Silver, fortunasilver.com. Thank you to our sponsors. Happy Sunday. What did the top banker? What if I told you I had the top banker in the world here in the basement with me today, and he had a message for you? Jamie Dimon, right? The CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Yes, that same JP Morgan Chase that's been convicted a couple times now of manipulating the silver price, right? JP Morgan's not exactly what we would call a favored company within the precious metals community, but that's about to change. Don't worry. Everything is changing. Everything. And really, it's been going on for 6 months. You and I talked about it. Those of you who've been here for the last 6 months, in December, we definitively said we are in a new environment, a new world for silver and gold. Absolutely, right? Things are changing like never before. A new paradigm. Everything shifted, right? What did Jamie Dimon say? Jamie Dimon said, we're speeding toward a cliff. It's happening, guys. Lynette Zhang, when I've talked with her the last 2 times, we are in the meat. We're into the meat. It's happening. Mathematics, right, are coming into play. The world at the same time geopolitically is changing on us. It's happening right now, right beneath our very feet. We better be prepared. You better be prepared, right? If you were one of those people who said, well, I'm not going to buy silver until it goes back to 20 an ounce. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you to go out. Do not make any big, rash, emotional based decisions. Do things on a steady, in my opinion, that is my advice, a steady, but hopefully most of you are prepared because we are in the meat right now. It's happening. Right? It's like Jenga. Hold on. Andy Scheckman, right? Here. Orange is my favorite color. I got my orange shorts on today. It's like Jenga. I mean, it's the easiest analogy in the world, right? Everything's fine. The Jenga, the tower the fiat tower is standing. There's no issues. Now everything's great. Look, the dollar will always be valuable. Your money will always be safe in the bank, right? And it's understandable. It's called recency bias, normalcy bias. People don't want to face the facts. Americans are I almost said, a lot of our fellow Americans, I'm going to say this in a nice way, aren't clued in to what's really going on, okay? Because here we are, right? Well, hell, look at this, right? Here we are. There's the Jenga tower. That was when it was made out of silver and gold. This is now. They've been pulling pieces out, right? Devaluing the US dollar. This is right about where we are right now, right? Everything's still standing up. Everything's great. What do you mean? Everything's wonderful. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hits, right? And stuff happens. You've been around long enough to realize, right? These things do happen. So be prepared. But Jamie Dimon, let's wrap that Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He's kind of like Jeremy Powell or Janet Yellen or Joe Biden. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Joe Biden. I'll say that without laughing. These people are paid to be positive. Okay. It's actually not funny. Joe Biden, anyway, but they're paid to communicate to the best of their abilities that everything's fine. Remember our analogy, right? The United States, and I hate to say this about the country that I was born into in 1970. I remember the 1976 bicentennial deal. It was a big deal. It was like we're Americans, and it's changed, man. It's changed. They sold you out. They sold me out, right? If you're wait a minute, sorry. If you're part of the 1%, right, the upper crust of the America, well, you did just great. It's not inflation to you. No, it's not called inflation. No, it's called a bull market. Stock prices are up. The Dow's at 40,000. Woohoo! Yee wee hee. All your real estate portfolio that you own is way up. But if you're a normal person, if you're part of the working class, right, the backbone of this country, the real quality, the people that make it happen, it's called inflation. It's called going to the grocery store, and the same basket of groceries that cost you $100 5 years ago now somehow cost you $150. I mean, anyway, I digress. Oh, Mr. Positive. Man, I'm sorry, guys. I went off on a tangent again. A tangent of a tangent. A double tangent. Anyway, Jamie Dimon's telling us you're speeding toward a cliff. Okay? We're gonna crash. Like the Roadrunner. CoinShop Chris loves the Roadrunner cartoons. The Roadrunner's out, goes over or Wile E. Coyote, whatever the guy's name is, goes out off the cliff, and he's running, and he's still running for a little bit. He's okay. And then he looks down, he's like, oh, and he goes falling down, right? That would be double an encore. That would be that guy. Okay? I don't have time to pull that up on the screen. Wait until you hear what the president of the United States of America that signed the Federal Reserve Act or whatever it was called into law, Wait until you hear what he said about the Federal Reserve. 6 years later, it'll send shivers up your spine. Shivers up your spine and make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Anyway, where was I? Okay. Oh, wrong page. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Thank you for all the super chats. Okay. Stagflation. I'm hearing the mainstream media. They said, look, think about this. Do we have rising prices? Check. Do we have a slowing economy? Check. This morning, I'm running to the grocery store because the big fancy grocery store by my house on Sunday mornings, they marked down all the meat they didn't sell on Saturday. I got a big chuck roast for $13. Anyway, I'm going to the grocery. You know how upset I am about the Red Lobsters getting closed. Susie and I used to go there once a month. The big RL was our big deal. Red Lobster went down the tube. I stopped going there. I don't even like Walt's favorite shrimp anymore. I'm glad they're gone. They deserve it because a hedge fund took them over. Anyway, but Red Lobster, in my opinion, rich people don't go to Red Lobster. The 1%, no. Middle America goes to Red Lobster when they want to indulge a little bit, when they feel like taking their family of 4 out for dinner and spending $110, because by the time you're done and your kids order a soda and your wife orders a beer and you order some entrees, you got to pay a tip, it's probably more like $130. Who can afford that? Or who wants to waste that much money? I got a 3-pound chuck roast for 10% of that cost, and then Susie gets mad at me. She's like, I just made a chuck roast last week. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll put this one. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. When I'm going to get this chuck roast, more signs. I have a visual for you. Stay with me here. The economy is in bad shape, guys. Hold on here. And then we're going to hear about this president. We're going to talk about mining stocks. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. I found it. Here. Oh, nope. Here we go. This place, Dave and Tony's. You've never heard of it. Was a one place by my house. It was a premium burger place. It's been around for 15 years. It was really good, really popular, whatever. And I'm driving to the Schmuck's grocery store, and I'm like, oh, they got paper up on all the windows. I'm like, they must be remodeling Dave and Tony's. It's about time. It's been 15 years. And I drive around the corner, and I see this. See that in the upper left corner? Permanently closed. I'm telling you, we are in for the worst time. I think it's hitting right now. This is going to be scary for you. It's going to be scary time, doom time, but it's hitting right now. Okay. The next 6 months, I think the wheels can come off the bus. Remember at the end of 2023, and we talked about how 2024, there were so many black swans circling, right? And guys, let's be real. I'm wrong. I was wrong. We've not really had any big events occur yet this year. However, right, there's still 7 months left, and we got this presidential election, but the economy's, I feel like it's crashing. I was driving last night, again, home from Six Flags. They closed a Burger King down. Boop, a Burger King of all places, right? They closed a Red Lobster. There was this place called Super Smokers, like a super popular barbecue joint, closed. And then there's this line of used car lots right on Highway 44 here in St. Louis, these little one 2-man shop used car lots. Probably had 100 cars or 60 cars in the lots. 2 of them completely empty, closed. The car business is going in the toilet. The commercial real estate business is in the toilet. The residential real estate is circling the toilet. It's having stomach cramps right now. The next 6 months could be absolutely crazy. That's my prediction. Look, last Sunday I said we'd get $30 silver. I'm on a roll. Okay. So if it's November 19th and the economy's still, the economy's doing great. The GDP went up by 3%. What's wrong with you, right? What's wrong with you? That's what Janet Yellen, did you know she asked you that question? What's wrong with you? The economy, that we don't understand why Americans aren't happy with how the economy is. Okay. Well, yeah. Anyway, go to the grocery store, do whatever. Okay. All right. The big deal is this is about silver and gold. You want rocket fuel for silver. You want nitrous oxide, right? Remember that for cars? You want the craziest, best environment. We're in it right now, guys. We're in it right now. Is the economy slowing? Check. Yeah. Are prices still going up? They sure feel like it to me. Check. You put it all together, and what do you get? You get stagflation. Yeah, stagflation. Okay. And there's nothing ever in the history of the world, the universe for that matter, that will propel the prices. And we'll talk about price just because we have to, of silver, gold, platinum, all the metals higher. Is it starting right now? Feels like it. Didn't last week. Feel like it? Check. Right? Rising prices? Check. Slowing economy? Check. Major rally in the metals? Checkity check, 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 check. Right? Buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to get interesting. We got more. Wait till you. Oh. It's bad. So I take one daughter and her friend to Six Flags last night. We go to Culver's on the way home. Look, I am a very frugal guy. Susie will tell you we almost had to go to marriage counseling because during the first 5 years of our marriage, I would never let her buy a soda when we went out to eat. I'm like, it's a ripoff. Who wants to spend $3 on a soda? We worked through it. I'm more flexible now with her soft drink purchases, but I go to Culver's with my daughter and her friend. And I don't know if I should tell you this or not. I have a confession to make. When I go to Culver's, because you go to Culver's and you want to get like a burger and a fry and a drink, it's going to be like $13, $14. But you know what I do? I get the kids' meal because it's the same size burger. It's a little thing of French fries. You get a soft drink. And when you're done, you tear this thing off your bag and you go up and you get a little dish of ice cream. It's like the perfect amount of food, I mean, that's what it's gotten to. I'm eating kids' meals. Don't leave the live stream because of that. We're going to talk about ending the Fed. Let's talk about quickly though, what is getting very interesting. Over the weekend, people are researching silver and gold. This week is pivotal for the silver and gold price, the silver and gold market. Probably the most, I think, pivotal week that we'll have this year. Look, a week from today, we could be sitting down here and I'm saying, hey guys, and mark my word, I think we're going to be either saying we got $34, $35, maybe $38 silver. I hope that's the case, but I think there's also just as much of a chance that we could be sitting down here saying, well, they beat us down to 27, 26. I'll tell you this. If there was ever a day in the history of the silver and gold universe where the manipulators at the COMEX, the powers that be, whoever, are going to try to, what do they call that? Monkey slam? Monkey ham? I don't know, whatever. Push down, tamp down the price of the metals. It's going to be tonight and Monday morning. Everybody's all excited. Like tonight when the market opens, what's going to go on in China? And where are you going to go live, Ron? And if it's crazy, I will go live. Otherwise, I'd really like to spend some time with my family. But nonetheless, this week is going to be nuts. Next week, right now, we're going to be talking about either $34, $35, $38 silver, or we're going to be talking about $27, $26, $28, $29 silver. This week is, I could be dead wrong, but if we're sitting down here next week talking about $32 silver, I don't think we're going to be flat for the week. I'd be happy if we were flat for the week, right? I'd be, even happier if we got those big numbers, but we'll just have to see what happens. It's going to be interesting, but there's a lot of people this weekend digging into precious metals. We've got 1,100 people on this live stream right now, but there's only one that matters, and that's you. So thank you for being here. We really do consider it a big honor. Susie, the moderators, who we have a great deal of admiration and appreciation for when you guys join us down here. But there's a lot of new people diving into the precious metals pool. It's going to be interesting to see what happens next week. Let's talk about the mining stocks for a little bit, because this is where it can get real interesting. Oops, I didn't mean for that to come up. Bye-bye, Dave and Tony's. I guess I'll never be eating there again. Let's look at the undervaluation within the mining sector. This is just absolutely, look at the metals. And here we go. There she is. This is from our friend Tavi Costa. Okay. What does this show us? Okay. It shows you the gold price in yellow. Okay. The GDX. Okay. Which is the big, the gold price in yellow. Let me back up. Gold price is yellow. Silver price is blue. Okay. And the green are the big mining stocks, the senior miners. Look how they've all moved together over the last year. The white line, okay, are the junior miners. And look at that gap between the junior miners and the big mining stocks. As you know, I'm heavily invested in the junior mining sector. There's a big opportunity gap there. It's going to be super interesting, but wait until you hear this. What about 6X? Hold on here. Hold on. This is from Hedgehog Trader. Oh, let me make sure I got that up. Yep. Nope. Hold on. Here we go. Gold stocks, which is the HUI. That's called the Huey Index. It's real easy to understand. It's a combination of, I think it's 12 or 16. I'm pretty sure 12 of the biggest mining companies, which aren't hedging their portfolio. It's just like the NASDAQ. Well, it's not, but the NASDAQ's an index. The S&P 500 is an index of 500 companies. The Huey is an index of the 12 biggest gold mining companies. Okay. It says gold stocks up 6% versus gold monthly. Miners are cheap, though. Guys, the miners are cheap and must rise sixfold to reach all-time highs of the last precious metals bull. So if we look at this chart, again, just shows the gross undervaluation in the mining stocks. This is a ratio. So it compares the Huey index, okay, to the price of gold. And as you can see, we are down here, 0.12. So that means that for each unit of the Huey index, which again is a combination of the 12 biggest mining companies, to the price of gold, it's 0.12. The more richly valued the mining stocks are, the higher that ratio goes. And what he's saying is if you look back here, that ratio gets as high as, I don't know, almost 0.7 at one point. The mining stocks would need to go up. Yes, it's true. 6 times just to reach that level. Okay. Let's go right now to ending the Fed, because we have Thomas Massey has introduced a bill to end the Federal Reserve. Yes, that Federal Reserve. The last time it was tried is in 2013 by Senator Ron Paul. What's interesting is it's actually getting a lot of support from a lot of senators and congressmen and women. I'll say it's probably not going to go anywhere, but it's interesting that it's getting massive, massive support. It would end the Fed 1 year after it's enacted. But 1913, this is interesting. So the Fed was created in 1913. Okay. What's also two crazy interesting things about this. Fed's created in 1913. In that same year, that's when the federal income tax was created as well. Does that make you a little suspicious? Makes me a little suspicious. But what did our former president say? The president was Woodrow Wilson, who actually signed the Federal Reserve Act into existence. He created the Federal Reserve. He did that in 1913. What did he say 6 years later? This will send shivers down your spine. He says, "I am a most unhappy man. I've unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is now controlled by its system of credit. We are no longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority, but a government by the opinion and duress of a small group of dominant men." Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woodrow Wilson said this in 1919, right? 6 years after signing the Federal Reserve Act, if you look down here on the bottom of 1913. What? A system of credit. Remember what we said earlier, guys. The U.S. government doesn't want you to own gold, doesn't want you to own silver. They don't want you in gold or silver. They want you in debt. And to me, the fact that the president, who at the time signed the federal, we salute Woodrow for having the courage. And have you ever noticed he kind of gets pushed to the side? I'm telling you guys, it's really, really crazy how they try to control what information people are taught. Like I was kind of taught Woodrow Wilson wasn't a good president, blah blah blah. Well, Woodrow Wilson had the courage to say the truth. So we salute you, Woodrow. What happens, guys? What happens if they lower interest rates? Let's go out real quickly here. And here we go. Close that down. Okay, close that. Okay. With momentum in its favor, gold has potential to head higher. Gold looks well poised to build on this year's gains, with speculative momentum seeming to entice marginal buying and perpetrating a virtuous circle. Wow, interesting. Okay. Hold on. I want to go down here. Over in the United States, the markets are again warming up to the idea of interest rate cuts from the Fed. After the softer than forecast inflation prints for April, traders now seem to be converging on September. This is all the Fed BS noise, right? That does affect, right, short term, the price of gold and silver. September for a first reduction and are factoring in nearly 2 cuts by year end. Whether or not that positioning proves accurate needs to be seen, but traders will be inclined to price those cuts into bullion pricing first and ask questions later. And with geopolitical tensions staying elevated, gold will find the extra bid going in its favor. So this is what we need to be prepared for in terms of the prevailing sentiment with the mainstream media. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you. Right? They're going to cut rates. The Fed's got to cut rates. But I got a question for you. And I got a surprise for you. Okay. But I have a question for you. What if the Fed can't cut rates? Because there's a little elephant in the room. And that is that the United States of America has this massive amount of debt that it needs people to buy, right? The U.S. debt clock, $35 trillion. Who's going to buy it? The Chinese, right? We sent old Janet over there and send Blinken and all these people. The Chinese are like, no, thank you. We don't want your debt. The Russians aren't going to buy it. Who's going to buy it? Huh? Right? No, nobody. And when the value of the debt goes down, guess what? Right? If the only way to entice people to buy it is by interest rates going up. Oh, but that'll create a big problem because the economy is crashing or slowing down. I'll say crashing, right? So we can't have that. We can't have higher interest rates. That leaves one option for the Fed. One option. And they're doing it in Japan right now. And it's creating massive problems in Japan. And it'll create massive problems here as well. The only thing they're going to be able to do is print money, monetize the debt. Okay, when nobody else wants to buy, it's real simple, guys. I know it can be head spinning, and we're not going to spend much more time on this, but when nobody wants to buy the debt of the United States, nobody wants to buy it, there's only one person left who can buy it, and that's old Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve. But he has to do it with unicorn fart dust, make-believe, printed money. And what happens when they print money? The value of the dollar in real terms goes down. And if you want to measure that depreciating dollar against a real asset like gold, if you choose to price it in that way, what you'll see is a skyrocketing price for gold and silver. That's the meat of what's going on right now. Canada's crashing. Sorry, Canadians, right? But Canada does matter. And their central banker even came out recently Hold on one second. Their central banker came out, the head of the central bank put out a stark warning regarding stretched investment valuations in Canada, aka the stock market, okay? And the risk of a major correction. Canada is in bad shape. Remember this, guys. All those interest rate hikes that the Fed did a year and a half ago, those are just now having impact in the United States. We are headed for big trouble here in the US. It's going to result in money printing. It's going to result in you being happy. You've got your money in silver and gold. That's just my opinion. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I said. Don't adopt a puppy. Don't get engaged. Don't do anything like that. But that's what I see happening. You know, I was talking to Coin Shop Chris last night, and we were talking about silver, and I said, yeah, I think I bought most of my silver probably around $18 or $19 an ounce, you know, and I'm not really buying right now. I'll be honest with you guys. Okay. I don't need to add to the amount of silver that I have. And, but I said, you know, but really, I said, that's probably just kept up with inflation during that period. And he like raised his voice with me and he said, that's what it's supposed to do, Ron. So, hey guys, have a great day. Okay. Thank you for being here. It's going to be exciting to see what happens tonight. It's going to be exciting to see you again next time.